Alright, so Activision dropped another little skill-based matchmaking blog. Finally! We've been waiting for this one for a cool minute. Actually, I think they were supposed to drop it like a month ago or something like that, but we finally got it. And I just want to say one thing before I go ahead and get into this. You guys know I hate me some skill-based matchmaking. I hate Call of Duty's matchmaking with every fiber of my being. I think it's the worst matchmaking we've ever seen in gaming. It's terrible, dude. It's awful. With that said, I don't want to see skill-based matchmaking completely removed from quote-unquote casual pubs. I think, like, there's legitimate disabled people out here, young little kids and stuff like that. I feel like they should be protected. Like, we shouldn't see somebody with one hand just trying to jump on and have a little fun, get a couple of kills in Call of Duty going up against somebody like Korean Savage. We should not see that. Even myself, you guys know I don't brag about my Call of Duty skills. I think that shit is pathetic. I'm out here trying to soldier for casual game, and we're trying to normalize that shit. You know, I've never been about that. I tell you guys in my videos, I don't think I'm a good player. I don't think I'm a great player. I think I'm solid, man. I've always been around a 2 KD player. And even I shouldn't be getting into lobbies with people like that. They should be protected. But this matchmaking is not working. The matchmaking they have in Call of Duty now is not working. It needs to be loosened. Going back to this whole reverse boosting fiasco, like I've said in my videos, I don't have a problem with people who want to reverse boost. Your average Joes who want to reverse boost to get a break from this toxic matchmaking. I do have a problem with these clowns, these nerds, losers out here getting rich off this shit, pretending and acting like they're a Call of Duty god with their best class setup, cringy ass best class setup videos, and you go to try their class out and it's absolute garbage. I do have a problem with them bitches. But if you loosened up this matchmaking, we would see a whole lot less reverse boosting. These reverse boosters getting into those lobbies with those one-handed handicapped people and stomping them for a whole game and shit, we would see less of that because people aren't going to feel the need to reverse boost if they loosen this shit up, bro. Just give us that feeling back of OG COD a little bit. People can breathe out here. You know, you can relax a little bit. Like what it's supposed to be. You have a rank mode, you have a casual mode, and just play Call of Duty, man. Gaming. But I also think Activision has dug themselves a little hole. They've created a problem. See, they got newer players out here, weaker players at the game that are jumping onto these games and they expect not to get smashed. They're so used to having their hand held. They're so used to these safe spaces and these protected brackets and everything else. They literally expect to be a new player on a game and not get stomped, which is absolutely hilarious to me. But anyways, let's get into this shit. The company said that team balancing is a key factor in allowing Call of Duty to form games where players can have fun and enjoy competitive matches. I've never had a problem with team balancing. It was cranked all the way up back in Black Ops 3. I don't have a problem with team balancing. I have a problem with skill-based matchmaking in regular pubs, especially in a game where you have a ranked mode. Team balancing is not a problem at all. In my opinion, it should be in all of these games, in all of their modes. I'm not even sure why they're talking about this shit to start off this. But anyways, skill-based matchmaking has been in Call of Duty since 2007's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. And dude, every time I see this shit, it pisses me the fuck off. You know why they're saying this? They're saying this because they want you to get off their back about skill-based matchmaking now. They know it wasn't there in COD 4. Talk to any of the OGs, man. Go back. You know, I always kind of give a pass to OGs like Blame Truth or Thunder. You know, like Blame Truth, he says some things that I straight up don't agree with, especially about X-Defiant and shit too. Some things about Call of Duty he'll say in his videos and stuff I do not agree with, but like dude gets a pass from me, man. Like these guys, like Thunder literally turned into everything he hated about Call of Duty. Like everything he hated about Call of Duty 10 years ago, he basically turned into that. I just give these dudes a pass, man. Like they've been playing Call of Duty as long as me, and they've been uploading Call of Duty way longer than me. Go back and watch their old videos, man. I remember when I was a noob in COD 4, I got absolutely fucking smashed, man. There was nothing there helping me, nothing protecting me. We didn't have no skill-based matchmaking, dude. I actually watched a couple of Blame Truth videos back then to just try to pick up some tips and tricks, you know, just watching his gameplay and shit. I used to watch the better players in my lobby and seeing how they handled certain situations and see how they made that play and what they did here. And I would just slowly start applying that to my gameplay. Like in COD 4, I was asked for majority of that game's life cycle, and then I started to pick it up towards the end. World at War, I was a solid player. I probably was around like a 1 KD in that game, but it was in MW2 and Black Ops 1 where I really took off. That was probably the best I ever played, like, at these games. You guys know I never try hard out here. I always just play at my own pace. Back then, you know, I was a young buck, right? Vision was better, reaction time was better, all that good shit, and I knew the game. I was already good at the game. My aiming was on point and all that. You know, I was clapping ass back then in OG Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 and shit. And like I always tell you guys, I've always been around a 2 KD player, but some games I've been a little bit lower, like COD 4 and shit. Like Advanced Warfare, I think I was like a 1.4 KD. Modern Warfare 2019, Slob Warfare, I was nowhere near a 2. I think I was like a 1.2 or something like that in that game. But other games, I was higher. Like Black Ops 2, I think I had like a 2.5. And Black Ops 1 and OG Modern Warfare 2, like, I would be surprised if I was under a 3 or something in those games. Just playing at my own pace, man. Like, I was ripping ass back then. And I can't tell you how many lobbies I've seen of just a whole enemy team, dude. Split screeners. Noobs galore. It was a fucking buffet line of noobs. No reverse boosting. Just turn the fucking game on and start playing it, man. You got wall-to-wall noobs. And that was when I was solid at the game. Like, you look at those lobbies. If you were in the trenches with Black Ops 1, MW2, MW3 and shit, try to tell me that those games had skill-based matchmaking, you're fucking full of shit, man. Like I said, go back and watch the OGs. Blame Truth, I still think he's got that gameplay on his channel. Go watch it. I don't think there's any commentary there, right? Just watch his gameplay. Pay attention to what he's doing, right? But pay attention to what everybody else is doing in the lobby. Guarantee you see a variety of skill, a variety of play styles, and pay attention to how little people leave those games if they're getting stomped. If there actually is a blowout in those games, pay attention to how little people leave. Do y'all remember this back in Black Ops 2? Because I remember this shit. And the funny thing is Black Ops 2 was the first time we actually saw skill-based matchmaking, but they dialed it back not long after launch when everybody was complaining about the shit. Yeah, go ahead and tell me again how the OGs had skill-based matchmaking. But anyways, they go on to say, and the system was updated with more capabilities starting with 2019's Modern Warfare, and I definitely agree with that, okay? I do not agree that skill-based matchmaking has been here since Modern Warfare, COD 4. That is complete bullshit. I do agree it was updated in 2019, though, because this shit's been next level since Modern Warfare 2019. They go on to say that Activision explored adding a playlist where skill factor is removed from matchmaking, but their current concern is that it would lead to only high skill players being in the matchmaking pool, as low and mid skill players would not join. Who fucking cares, though? It's everybody's choice to go in those playlists. I don't understand. Like, it's optional, right? So if a low skill player gets in there, gets his ass whooped, gets his feelings hurt, he doesn't want to be in there no more, he could just go back to the safe spaces of your regular pubs, man. Like, why not just drop the playlist? I don't understand. If it's only going to be high skill players in there, that's not their concern. It's optional. Why not just drop the fucking playlist, dude? So there's something, like, shit is not adding up here, bro. All right, moving on. Fuck, this video is going to be a long one. But anyways, Activision keeps skill factor in matchmaking despite the negative feedback, because when skill is utilized in matchmaking, 80 to 90% of players experience better end of match placement, stick with the game longer, and quit matches less frequently. And I call all kinds of bullshit. You know, there's something, I think maybe it was a homie that said it to me, or maybe it was a video I was watching back in the day, but I remember somebody said something about, I never cared when I died until I actually got good at the game. I never started raging on COD until I got good at the game. And I'm like, dude, that is spot on. Just thinking about me when I was a noob on COD 4, you know, I was getting my ass handed to me. Didn't give a fuck. Never left any games, man. I was in a bunch of blowout games where I got absolutely smashed. Never left a fucking game, man. Never cared, dude. I was a noob at a game. I expected to get stomped. Any of you guys, I'm talking to you OGs that started in OG MW2, MW3, Black Ops 2, whatever. If you started back then, think about when you first started playing the game. You got smashed. How many of those games did you leave? You didn't start rage quitting until you started getting better at the game. And you started seeing you getting fucked over by some bullshit lag or whatever. And you're like, dude, I'm out. That was a bullshit death. I ain't staying in this fucking lobby. Nowadays, it's a whole enemy team of clones of you with rigged gunfights and lag and everything else. Terrible spawns, the whole nine. As soon as you eat a couple of bullshit deaths, you're out. Noobs don't care about this shit. Now, with that said, going back to what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Activision has kind of dug themselves a little hole here with having this handhold and protected bracket safe space bullshit for as long as they have. They got these very fragile, like actual grown men knew we're at these games. Very fragile, like they need this emotional support matchmaking. Like they really feel like they should be new to these games and not get stomped. And Activision has created this type of mindset. And we got these weak sheep, very fragile, grown men. Their feelings get legitimately hurt if they get beasted in a goddamn video game, man. And I blame this on Activision for what they've been doing for so many years at this point with their greed. Their logic is make little Timmy, make grown man little Timmy feel better about himself, make him feel like he's better at this game than he actually is, so he stays in the game longer and buys more bundles. When the reality is, we didn't have that treatment back in the day. Call of Duty flourished. Call of Duty became a fucking juggernaut. We didn't have those protections back then, man. Y'all made good, fun games. We enjoyed playing them. We didn't need no battle passes and shit. We didn't need no skill-based matchmaking, protected brackets. It was a fun game. We wanted to get better at it. You threw us into the fucking snake pit, and we learned. Anyways, moving on. Activision have run tests in Modern Warfare Deuce and a Half's multiplayer where skill factor was reduced in matchmaking for a portion of the player base. According to the paper, 50% of North American players playing Modern Warfare Deuce and a Half. The test showed that players with a wider skill gap were more likely to quit matches in progress and did not return to the game at a higher rate than players with unchanged matchmaking. And I find this absolutely hilarious, man. Like, what were the parameters of the test? When did they conduct this test? What game modes did they use in this test? Are we going with TDM here? Like, I mean, the game modes would play a major factor, but what time of the month? Like, what time of the season did they conduct these tests? I mean, if you're talking about, like, let's say they ran this test right before a season drop. So right before season drop, like let's say the week before, a bunch of casuals are no longer on the game. They're just waiting for the new season. The only people you really have left on the game are the super sweats that live, breathe, shit, sleep, fuck, eat, drink Call of Duty all day long, every day. And they got an ego. Of course, if they're getting shit on, they're going to fucking leave, man. You're not going to get an accurate reading there. It's like if you tried to test this shit in the middle of summer, dude. You got the casuals, man. They're outside. They're enjoying the weather. They're out swimming. They're camping, bonfires and beers and shit. They're not stuck in a house gaming. The super sweats are stuck in a house gaming. You can't test this shit in the middle of summer and think that you're going to get an accurate reading with this type of shit. The best time to test this would be like when a Call of Duty first launched, like a week or two after that Call of Duty launch, then you would test something like this. But honestly, we're just kind of going in circles now with things I've already said in the video that would have rebutted what they're trying to say here. And I'm just seeing nonsense. I'm seeing bullshit and a whole lot of gaslighting. Like, reading what they got here, they're talking to us like we're brain dead. Like, we got brain rot. They're talking to us like we're fucking stupid, man. They're talking to us like there's no more OGs left that were on Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, MW2 in its prime. They're talking to us like we have no fucking idea what's going on here, man. And it's actually pretty frustrating and infuriating reading some of this shit. But anyways, this video is getting long as hell, so we're just going to finish it up with this. The white paper also revealed that ping remains even across the different skill pools in matchmaking, reiterating several times that ping remains to be the most important factor in Call of Duty's matchmaking process. However, there may be slight deviations in ping and skill groups based on the availability of players during a certain matchmaking time. I mean, do I have to add anything to this? Anybody who actually plays the goddamn game, do I have to add anything here? Like, me reading this, you guys seeing it for your eyes right now, you know this is bullshit. Like, come on, man. When you're out in those lobbies, you know this is bullshit. We've already seen proof of this from people who tested reverse boosting People like Exclusive Ace, people like Drifter, they've tested this shit, and they spoke on the differences in connection between those noob lobbies, those bot lobbies, as opposed to the regular skill-based matchmaking lobbies. And they're out here talking about how ping remains the most important factor in Call of Duty's matchmaking. Complete fucking bullshit, dude. The fact is, in their eyes, if they protect these new cash cow players, they will continue to be cash cow players. Protect them, make sure they feel like they're better at these games than they actually are. Make sure that the good players, the loyals that have been here for years and years, over a decade at this point, make sure that they can't get at these very fragile grown men, so that they stay on our game and keep buying our complete rip-off, overpriced, cringy-ass bundles with our black cells that cost half the price of what they paid for the full game. Or in most cases, a lot of these people bought vault editions of the game, but buy those black cells every season and buy all these cringy-ass fucking bundles that make you sick when you're playing a Call of Duty game. We need to protect them so they keep buying this shit, because they created this problem in the first place with their bitch-ass matchmaking, think that this system works to make more money. That's what it's about. They think this system makes them more money when they made a shit ton of money when they did not have this system back in the day. And it's a problem they have created, but it's also a problem we have with modern society. We have a lot of sensitive fucking people out here, man, that just, like, imagine getting your feelings hurt because you got beat in a video game. So all the loyals of the game need to suffer just so you don't get your little feelings hurt playing a motherfucking video game. Even though you're new at the game, you should be getting your shit pushed in until you learn the game and get better. Imagine putting your loyals through that. The ones that stuck with your game and put in the time to get better. They need to be punished to protect little Timmy, so he buys a black cell and buys all these bundles right here. It's like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't want skill-based matchmaking removed. I don't think it should be completely removed. It needs to be toned down though. And reading through all this bullshit right here, it looks like they can very easily, it's like a knob, right? Like these knob gobblers out here. It's like a knob. They can turn that shit with the quickness, with ease. They could turn that shit up and down however they like. The skill portion of the matchmaking should be turned the fuck down. But anyways, that's all I got for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I will talk to you on the next one.